Welcome in as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here, guy, other side of the glass. Tommy Wirtz producing the show, the star of the show. He is here as always, Mason Crosby. It is his show as well. And Mitch Thundernellis, he's off. He'll be back on Wednesday. And for those of you looking for the On the Green segment, we're hoping to get it in here before 11 o'clock. If we're not able to, hopefully we'll be able to get Adam from the Wisconsin Country Club on next week. But things happened out of our control. So hopefully we'll be able to get that taken care of either before 11 or if not, we'll just do it next Friday instead. I want to talk about Micah Parsons. Mason brought it up there at the end of the last segment. And the trade rumors flowing around, the bitterness flowing between him, his agent, and Jerry Jones. People talking about, hey, the Packers make a lot of sense to make a move here for Micah Parsons. This would make sense. This is a guy in his mid-20s, in his prime, that the Packers may be willing to give up some draft capital for and sign to a big deal to bring him into their defense. Jerry Jones was on Michael Irvin's YouTube show, I guess. That's where we are with Michael Irvin. He's got YouTube shows. So Michael Irvin's YouTube show and talked about Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulgada, declining the offer that the Cowboys threw out there.
We wanted to send the details to the agent. The agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Wait, now see, I was
just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait. What do you mean? Because people going to ask.
Mike and I talked. Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent.
Well, Micah and Jerry had an agreement?
Correct. Don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark over several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama, and she won't do it. And she's the boss, boss. She won't do it. So you run into daddy. Daddy says, do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right. So, mama-daddy deal. We've all been there and done that. Well, we've got this thing resolved in my mind for the Dallas Cowboys. And we've got it done. And if the agent wants to finish up the detail, which is should, and do all the paperwork, and he can do that. And we're ready to go. But as far as the amount of money, the years, the guarantees, all of that, we negotiate that.
Okay, first of all, I don't know how this works in Mason Crosby's household, but I will tell you how it works in my household. This mama-daddy deal thing that he's talking about, if you go to Kay and she says no, and you come to me without knowing that you went to her, and I say yes, it's not going to matter what I said. Because when you go back, she's like, I don't care what your dad said. It's still no, and you're not doing it. Like, I don't know what happened in Jerry's household growing up, but that's not how it worked. And that's not how it works in my household.
Yeah, and I mean, he's trying to play that again, he had a negotiation, a conversation with Micah Parsons, and he said, yeah, that sounds good, but send that to talk to my agent. I mean, that's what they're there for. And again, that's why I'm sure his agent at this point, it's like, all right, he hasn't practiced all camp. Like, let's not try to throw him out there. Why would you sign a deal right now? Like, let him just kind of sit the rest of, these last couple days and get a deal done. I mean, like, it sounds like, again, Jerry Jones is willing to make Micah Parsons, from their conversations, the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That's what the rumors are. That's what it looks like it's happening. But I just don't understand why I do understand it, just hearing Jerry Jones and like what he has been forever. Like, he does it. He wants to do it differently.
Right.
He wants to not talk to an agent, not deal with all of that, which is so unique because in Green Bay, I've told this story before about like Jordy Nelson going in and wanting to be in negotiations for his contract stuff. And the Green Bay Packers do not want to talk to players. They do not want those conversations to happen. They want to deal directly with agents and keep the players out of it, because how they want to negotiate is basically try to break down the player to his lowest form and the weakest.
So it's
spaces.
Like a baseball player going to an arbitration.
It's an arbitration.
Right.
You're just going, and that's how the Packers do it. They arbitrate. They want to just say like, well, here are all his weaknesses. This is why we don't think we should pay him this much. And your agent's job is to come back, and that's why they don't want players in that space and so I don't know what Jerry Jones's thought is, where he gets Micah Parsons in a room. Does he fluff him up, try to like praise him up to the max so he'll take a deal and say like, yeah, we're good on that? But until the agent puts the paperwork together and and finalizes something, like nothing is going to get done there. So I don't understand why Jerry Jones feels like he needs to go around it.
This is the thing. David Mulgada, like I said, top of the mountain when it comes to NFL agents at this point, right?
Get pushed around.
He's like super agent, right? But we also have to realize how this works for an agent. They get a cut. So Micah may have negotiated one deal, and Mulgada might be like, I don't care what he negotiated. I'm going to get more because he deserves more, and you probably screwed him on the money he should be getting at this point. So I don't care what he negotiated. I'm involved now. You deal with me. So there's Mulgada's ego involved and pocketbook involved as far as trying to get this done himself. Now, the option is, which is not going to happen, Micah Parsons can be like, cool, you don't want to do the deal, David? Then you're fired.
Fire him. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the only option here. If he's not fired, then David, like, he's going to get a piece of this, whether he negotiates or not. But he is looking out in a sense. I mean, he's looking out for his client's interest by saying, like, let's have a conversation. Let's negotiate. That way it's like, at least I've earned a piece of this because I'm getting it anyways, unless Micah obviously hasn't fired him. So he feels like there should be a conversation there as well. If Micah felt great about the deal and it was agreed upon, Micah would say, yep, all right, I'm going to save my 2-3%. And I'm just going to sign this deal and, so long to my agent. Like that would be
exactly
that's what would be happening right now if that deal was what Jerry Jones is saying it is.
Jones was not backing off, however, because then he started bringing up, massive contracts that he finally got done with Dak and so forth. Check this out.
The world would know that I want Micah if they knew what I had offered him, and he knows what I offered him. So the world would know that I want Micah to play on the team and that I respect him for what he can bring to the team. And now, as it turns out, in this particular case, you say, well, what happens? Well, what happens is that we have a contract, and there's this year remaining under the contract. And then in the NFL, I get at our volition to extend that contract another year. We'll pay him like a franchise and another one after that. So we really got 3 years to work this thing out.
Oh man!
And it's a basic contract that's there to go. And I did that with Dak, and we couldn't agree. So Dak played his last year of his contract, and then we franchised him. And so it's exactly what happened with Dak. And we moved forward, and of course, ultimately, we got a contract, made Dak the highest paid player in the NFL.
As a player, when you hear an owner say that you're in the last year, but because
I got
of the
total
CBA,
control for 3 years.
I got 2 franchise tag years because of it. As a player, you just want to absolutely strangle him, I would assume.
Yeah, I think that's like some of the stalemate probably, right? It's just like you're not saying, yeah, you want me, but you want me at this price. And like, you're just saying you have all the control anyways, which, I mean, he is the owner of the team, and like they are, it is a business. But like, he's willing to pay him, and he's willing to, in a sense, overpay for a year with the franchise tag. Like, that's what's crazy, right? Is like, he would be willing to franchise tag him and take that whole cap hit into another year and that huge number versus just kind of dealing with the agent and doing it how everyone else does it and just getting a deal done. So it's kind of wild. It's a circus. I've been watching the America's Team thing on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up, in Texas in the 90s. And I remember my aunts, uncles, grandparents, everybody, like how he talked about in that first episode of the Netflix series, how they hated like him coming in and what he did, how he escorted, Tom Landry out of the bit, or it's just like, they felt like it wasn't celebrated enough, like what he did. I will say, like, when you kind of look at what it was going on there in Dallas, I mean, Dallas was bad whenever Jerry Jones took over that team. Like, Tom Landry needed to move on, but they felt like he didn't honor it the right way.
And I
was
agree.
just kind of like, we're moving on. Yeah. So like people still hold on to that. Yeah. I mean, there's a large fan base that love the Dallas Cowboys, but just hate Jerry Jones and how he operates. And I mean, but I give him, here's where I give him credit, is that he's been open and honest here, especially in recent interviews about how he operates. He's just literally like, if the Cowboys aren't being talked about, I'll stir something up. And he's a big reason the NFL and the sports world is kind of what it is now. Like he kind of changed how everyone viewed NFL football, how it became an entertainment business more than just playing the games on Sundays. And so you got to give him credit in some of those spaces, but how he operates, it's just like, it's so much all the time. And it's all about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, he is this generation's Al Davis. I mean,
yeah,
for the most part. I mean, Al Davis was that guy for the Raiders for all those years, and then Jerry became that guy for the Dallas Cowboys. Kay Adams, for the Up and Adams show that we played some of Sandra earlier, had Jordan Love on. We played some stuff from him too. And she was trying to pitch the whole Micah Parsons thing.
My agent, shout out Dave Mulligetta.
There we go, Dave Mulligetta.
Dave Mulligetta. Gave us a little piece of oven, so shout out. That's my guy.
Pizza oven?
Piece of oven.
Isn't Dave Micah's agent?
He is.
Micah Parsons' agent? I'm just putting that out there. That would be kind of fun.
Right, I would.
That would be kind of, I would just like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
I wouldn't mind seeing that at all, Mason Crosby. How much better are they? Like, do they go from being maybe a second tier team in the NFC? Because I think it's Philadelphia, and then there's another tier after Philadelphia at this point. So are they go from that to being right there with Philadelphia with Micah Parsons? Do they go to becoming a Super Bowl winning favorite with Micah Parsons? How does it change if they were to get Micah?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they go from a really good defense where there's a lot of optimism from what they did last year to an elite defense. I mean, you just become elite on that defensive front,
right?
And it's just automatic, just because he's proven that. When was the last time our Packers team had the elite pass rusher that teams fear? It's just week in and week out. I mean, I guess when you brought Preston and Za'Darius where they were in their career at that time, I mean they were elite pass rushers in 2019 and in 2020. But I mean, it's been
not like this.
I mean, it's been 5 years since you've had like anything this exciting that could happen. Are those rumors true? Like that the Packers offered them that?
No,
okay.
I don't.
I mean, I don't believe the internet, but like I have seen it enough that I'm like, is that something, or is just somebody trying to get clickbait and saying like, oh, the Packers offered these numbers?
This is the thing. If you're Brian Gutekunst, right? And you're Ed Policy, this is your first chance to run the show. You've been sitting over there, good soldier Ed Policy, helping to build, Title Town. That was his baby. And being that guy under Murphy for damn near 20 years and all of that. This could be your moment, right?
Like a moment. You just had the draft in Green Bay, and that was
Murphy's moment. Yeah, but now Ed Policy
that's what I'm saying.
Can walk into Goody's office and go,
come right in.
Hey, look, man, let's talk, right? I will give you an extension right now, but I want that dude here. I don't care if you got to give up a couple ones, whatever you got to do.
Make it happen.
I want him in a Packers uniform this year and for the next 5 years after this. Let's figure this out, Goody, and give up the draft capital. I'll extend you so you're not going to get fired over if it backfires, and I'll take care of you. But I want this done. I want a Super Bowl ring early on here, so I don't got to worry about this going forward. Murphy got one in 11. They never got back again after that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the time is now to go and do something. And again, it is a risk. Even like a guy like Micah Parsons, it's a risk to bring in a new player and expect him to either be what he has been or and elevate that game. But I think in that position, it's a little bit less than, say, you're bringing in a wide receiver, or you're bringing in, it's like you brought in Josh Jacobs, and he was kind of, it was like question marks if he was still the guy that, that everyone thought he was going to be, and he proved to be that guy last year. But I think skill positions like that sometimes to fit into a system and do all those things. But a guy like Micah Parsons, I mean, you saw, when Reggie White came to Green Bay and all those things, it's not to say that Micah Parsons, Reggie White, but it's like those types of things can be an impact, and you can change a culture instantly to, all right, we're now a relentless pass rush. We have a guy that is going to be an impact every down, every day. And I feel like you got to do it. I will say, and I said it earlier, though, I do feel like, unfortunately, the Packers, because they're a good team, their draft capital doesn't sway the Cowboys the way some other teams might, right? Because they're offering a first round next year that's probably going to be in the upper 20s. You hope that it's going to be in the 30s, but so you have to sweeten that deal somehow. And it's going to be a question of, are the Packers willing to step into that space where they're getting rid of a player that they have some, that's a prospect that they have hopes for, to go and chase something like this down.
So the question is, does Green Bay have pressure on them to make a deal happen for Micah Parsons? Do you think there's any pressure really on the Packers to try and get this done? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Record and sound off on a voice message on the Odyssey app as well. And of course, we have the YouTube chat going as well, where you can live stream all of our local shows, check out videos, shorts, and chat with us on YouTube. Mason, how much pressure do you feel like is on the Green Bay Packers?
Like right in this moment, not a ton. I will say if Cowboys don't extend Parsons before the start of the season and Parsons sits, and then our like guys that you roll with, and you haven't gotten a deal done, you haven't done any trading, in that space, and the guys you roll with aren't being productive, I think that pressure mounts. And if Micah's not playing, and a lot of people are saying if he doesn't get extended, he shouldn't step on that field. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, but he's
so
not.
You play the Cowboys, and then you go into a bye week after week 5. If those guys that you rolled with, you throw everything at him to try to get a trade done at that point. If Micah's not playing, but if he decides to play, he doesn't get an extension. If the Cowboys for some reason were open to a trade and don't get it done, and Micah goes and does his thing, and our guys aren't doing their thing, then I think the pressure starts mounting, and they're just like, why are you not making a move there? Like, I think the fan pressure would be pretty heavy at that point.
This is the thing. There's no chance, zero, that this dude ain't playing football this year. He may not play for the first 4 or 5 weeks, but whatever week it is, where after that, if you're not playing, then that year no longer counts. Now you're just extending your time in Dallas. What is it? Week 7, week 8, week 9, whatever it is. You've got to come back and play by that point. And if you're missing games after that, then that no longer counts as a service year. So he's going to have to come back here at some point and play in the second half of the year. He can hold out as long as he wants in the beginning. But we've seen Melvin Gordon do it, right? Yeah. Where he was arguing. He came back because he didn't want to lose a year of service time. He comes back, and what happens? Hurt immediately with a hamstring injury or whatever it was.
That's the risk.
So Micah, in my opinion, he may sit out a couple of weeks, but this is not going to be, I'm not going to play all season long, because you're just going to be stuck in Dallas another year going forward.
Yeah, and how Jerry Jones is talking, I mean, it's like it doesn't feel like there's any intent to do anything, because it's just like, if he doesn't play, whatever. If he does play, if he plays on this deal, we don't get something done, we'll just franchise tag him. Like Jerry Jones is just speaking truth on how the system is set up, that like they as a team have all the control. Like Micah, it's just up to him if he wants to accept, whatever deal they're offering at this time. Like, they have no incentive as a team, as an owner there in Jerry Jones, to make a move at this moment and rush anything, because like they have all the control to the rights of Micah Parsons' contract right now.
We were talking about this too on Wisconsin Sports Daily. The Brewers get all this pressure from the fans. You got to do something at the deadline. You need to get Suarez. You need to do that. And every year we go through this, where Brewers fans are all over Mark Attanasio, spend more money, give this team a better chance, and so forth. Okay, fine. The Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, I don't feel like really ever feel that pressure from their fan base of going out and making some big move. And when you bring it up, Packer fans say the same thing. Well, we know they're not going to do anything. It's why bother wasting our breath? Well, fair, but you could say the same thing about the Brewers lately at the trade deadline. They haven't made a big move at the deadline since CC Sabathia.
It is wild, right? And I think their consistency there in Green Bay it's something to look and applaud. I mean, they've been consistently good for a long time. But yeah, like there is a mindset where it's just like, all right, I'm not even going to get really excited about anything because it's just not going to happen. And they've kind of created that narrative over years of doing it one way, right? And is it the right way? Like it's been a long time, since that Super Bowl victory. I mean, we're going on 15 years now since that Super Bowl team. So I do think some splashes, anything you can do to make the team better. If you have that opportunity, you have to go and chase it. And I think in today's sports world, with NIL, with all the stuff, with everything, like you have to get that juice and you got to make that splash in order to go and chase championships. It just seems to be some of that. And again, though, you have to applaud the Brewers. They didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, but they did make some moves, right? Like they went and they got some players to fill some gaps and fill some holes. Were they sexy and exciting at the time? No, but those guys have been really valuable pieces to this team.
He is Mason Crosby, C. Sparky Fifer, filling in for Mitch Thundernellis. Tom Awarts, other side of the glass. Don't forget, it's time to take our shows on the road. Join Wisconsin Sports Daily and the leadoff show at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound this afternoon from 2 until 7 o'clock, brought to you by Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea right here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan. We'll be doing trivia and commercial breaks throughout the broadcast as well. We'll have T-shirts, bucket hats, the pop sockets for the back of the phones, lots of stuff to give away out at Kelly's Bleachers. Plus, they'll have drink specials going on for the Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Teas too. Come on out, say hi, hang out, and I know a lot of you will probably be taking a shuttle over to the game or walking over to the game from there, so definitely come out and say hi before the game. Coming up next, there's a family suing the WIAA for not granting their child a waiver to play more at Arrowhead. And it really is an argument about whether or not their kid deserves more playing time or not. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But we'll get into that straight ahead here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan. Sparky here, Mason here.
Yep.